And I'm David. And we're talking Survivor, David's versus Goliath, week 6, right?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, this one was tough to watch in parts.
This was a bit more of the feels.
Sad.
Yeah.
Sad.
And obviously not like super dramatic with Natalie gone.
Yes.
You could really feel Natalie not being there.
Right, yeah, for sure. Yeah, the drama was gone this episode. But we are sort of dealing with the fallout of Natalie going home at the beginning of this episode, and Angelina's trying to like explain it away.
She was on board.
Yeah.
She knew this was gonna happen.
Look, she only voted for Lyrsa because she needed that jacket from Natalie. Like, that's the only reason. And Lyrsa's like, okay.
First off, I was just like, thank you. Let's relive this again, you
I
guys.
know, yeah.
Natalie. I mean, I was just like, yes, please. Thank you.
Yeah. So Lyrsa's not really buying it.
Lyrsa's like, still, really all of this was over a jacket anyway. She was like, come on, this is ridiculous.
I know. Then they go to reward, right?
They go to a reward challenge.
Yeah.
And this is the first time I go, oh God, Shabini. It's so hard to watch them do challenges.
Yeah, so this is the one where Lyrsa has to climb over the ladder and everyone's holding up the coconuts.
One person is doing one activity while everyone else is holding. And at first I was like, why did they send Lyrsa? But then I realized because everyone else has to hold these heavy coconuts.
She can't do that.
Right.
So like the ladder's really the only thing she can do.
Yes. So they fall behind real quick.
Very quickly. And Alec is like off to a superstar start as usual. He's so athletic. So Vuku is sort of like off to an early lead.
Yes.
But then they kind of blow it with this ring toss element, and Jabini's able to catch up with Nick on the ring toss for Jabini.
So of course, Tiva, the All-Stars.
Yeah, right.
Just whatever they win, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, Vuku blows their lead.
Yeah.
They get nothing.
Yeah.
And Jabini somehow comes in second.
So they go off with their vegetable kebabs, and then we sort of get these moments back at camp with each of the tribes.
Here's one of the first times I'm getting the feels is because Christian gets this edit about like belonging, being a part of the group.
For the first time, he's a cool guy.
Oh.
And I was like, Christian,
you're still amazing.
I don't know if you're cool, but like people like you. People want to be your friend, and like we're all rooting for you at home. Like
from
he's
what
so
I can tell,
great.
everyone watching the show adores Christian. So the fact that he's like, I just wanted to be included. I'm like, I think you're included now.
Right. He also like feeds John, which is super awkward, but like it's just endearing coming from Christian because he's just such a like goofy personality. I know. Yeah. So it's just more bro time. Yeah. And that's making Gabby feel some kind of way, of course. Like she's kind of felt like she's been on the bottom of this tribe. She hasn't had to worry because Tiva keeps winning.
Yes.
But she sort of confides in Allison and is like, I don't know what to do. Like, I trust Christian, but he's just so endearing to these guys.
She kind of pleads to Allison and is like, I really don't have anyone. You know, you're the only one who has sort of presented an olive branch, reached out to me. And Allison felt for her. She did. They definitely connected. And I do think that that will help Gabby in the long run.
I think so too. You know, Allison said she's like a very empathetic person. And so as soon as she saw that Gabby was struggling, she wanted to like, you know, give her encouragement. And Allison identifies Dan as a threat. It's not if I blindside Dan, it's when.
Right.
So she clearly sees Gabby, I think, as potentially a number for her, someone she can work with to like make her own kind of moves. Then we go to
Vuku.
Yes, Vuku.
Vuku, we have a little spat.
Elizabeth's upset because she's got this back pain issue, which I totally get.
Oh, back pain is not cool.
But
that hurts.
It's making her very emotional and confrontational, and she wants to rejigger the bed.
Right.
And Carl's in the middle of a nap as she's trying to make this happen. Then there's that scene where she's like dragging this giant bamboo log, just fully dragging it against Carl and almost knocking him over. And I'm like, Elizabeth, what are you doing? Like, this is not a good social game.
Back pain and lack of sleep, I would be cranky.
Yeah.
I feel you, girl, but also you're playing a game for $1 million, so it's a little rough. But I also thought it was interesting, like, Davey just could not care what she was doing, and he just undid what she was doing with the bed, does it what he wants. So, like, he was being a jerk. She was being, you know, kind of jerky.
Right.
And so the two of them eventually hash it out.
Yeah.
But obviously now they've got bad blood between each other, and Carl's, upset with her too.
And I just don't think that bodes well for Elizabeth, because people only need one reason to vote you out of this game.
Right.
And if it's your back pain, and if your back pain is making you difficult to live with, they'll just send you home.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the attitude. Like, Carl's like, if we go to tribal, I gotta target Elizabeth because she's sort of a pain in my butt at this point.
Right.
And I don't like that, because I really like Elizabeth generally as a
character. Because she was totally
character.
flying under the radar.
Yes.
Like, no one's taking her seriously, so it would be a shame that she would go out because of, like, crankiness, you know?
Yes, right.
So then we go to immunity.
Yes.
This is the second time I start to feel bad for Jabini. Oh, they are so hard to watch doing challenges.
This one was so depressing start to finish for Jabini, because Tiva, of course, once again,
All-Stars.
Like, they go one time to this water
Yes!
and one time back, and boom, they're basically done with the challenge.
One time they have all of the water.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, everyone's going back and forth, back and forth.
And
then, of course, it ends in a puzzle.
Yes.
So we're good to go with that.
Yeah. Allison and Christian, right, are working on the puzzle.
They're doing so well that they're like, let's push the last one together.
Right. I'm
like, as if there's not a competition going on.
Rub it in, guys. And then Vuku, so I think they have to do 2 trips back and forth to the well. But then again,
they're working on the puzzles. They're working at it.
Very casually working on this puzzle.
Taking their
like,
time.
There's not a rush, because Jabini keeps splashing the water everywhere.
Falling apart.
Oh my, Mike is cramping, Angelina's bleeding, Lyrsa can't hold her end up, and water keeps pouring over her.
Like, they're just like, woof, oh, there's the water. Oh, they get up there, oh my gosh, there's like barely any water going. Okay, we gotta go back. And you can just like see, like, they have to go back a 3rd time, and Mike's like, I don't know if I can do it. And they're like, we gotta try. We gotta
keep going. They keep fighting.
They kept fighting until, like,
there was no point in fighting anymore.
And they were like, literally, they were like, I can't pick this up anymore.
They fully dropped it.
And I think it was Nick that was like, come on, guys, it's like trying. And they were like,
there's just like, they have one piece left.
Just a couple pieces here.
So like, we're not.
What's the point?
Yeah. And like, Angelina was like carrying the thing with like her forearms because her hands were bleeding. It was just a disaster for them. And Jeff, Jeff was kind of giving them a hard time at first, because that's his job. He's the host, right? So the first time he's like, oh, Jabini, you barely got any water in that thing, and blah, blah, blah. You gotta try to get as much water as you can. And then towards the end, he's like, keep fighting, guys. It's that survivor spirit. It's like, got you out here. He's like trying to be encouraging, but it's just...
And he said something like, there's nowhere to hide, and it's so true. Like, you just are like, we give up. Like, we're done. Like, we can't do this.
Yeah.
But you have to, like, keep trying.
Yeah.
It's like, you're not getting very far. You're losing your... I mean, it was just
And honestly, no matter what, that tribe would have been doomed with this challenge, because even if they'd kept Natalie... What was she gonna do to help them? So this was just not the challenge for them. This is the challenge for Tiva, where you've got Dan and John, these like huge muscly guys who can carry most of the weight of this thing. Like, it just was not Jabini's day.
No, and what was interesting though, he's asking them questions. How does it feel? This was hard.
Yeah.
And Mike's like, I don't want to let anyone down, and it sucks that any of this group has to go. And I was like, well, that's bold of him to not even worry about himself.
Yeah.
Which we see more than they do, and so we know he's probably safe. But the fact that he just sort of said it, I was like, wow. And then...
And I was a little bit like, uh-oh, is this some kind of like foreshadowing that Mike's going to get blindsided? Like, I don't want that, because I like Mike as a character, but...
Then we get back to the camp with them, and it turns out nobody's really worried that they're going.
No,
there was never a... really didn't want to lose today because now I might be, going out tonight.
No,
like, my name's being written down.
It was all, oh, it's so sad that one of us has to go. And everyone's saying it as though it's going to be one of you. Yeah. Right? Not one of us, one of you.
And everyone is sort of like, so who are we, what do you think, who are we voting out?
Right.
It was, it was just shocking that it was who are we voting out.
Yeah, right. And they sort of recognize right away that like there's potential that it's going to be 2 versus 2 because we've got 2 Davids, 2 Goliaths on this tribe. Nobody wants to go to Rocks. They're all expressing this. I was kind of surprised that Lyrsa was totally shut off to any kind of alliance or working together with Angelina. I get it. She wrote her name down at the last tribal.
Get it.
But
you can't, when two people are extending the olive branch to you, you can't shut it down.
Right.
You have to pretend. You have to fake it to some extent.
Right.
You know, say something a little like, okay, yeah, maybe, I don't know. Say something other than, well, I'm with that person, so.
Yeah, so that is what it is.
Okay, so obviously she walks away and they're like, well, that didn't work. Not working with her.
Right. So Angelina, I think at this point is like, well, clearly I have to go for Lyrsa because she will never work with me. Right. And she says like, look, I tried, like I thought, you know, we're Latinas and whatever, but like, it didn't work, so I guess I gotta target Lyrsa, and that's what she does. And now we've got Lyrsa trying to work on Mike, right? In the ocean, and she's trying to say, like, we gotta get Angelina out. And he's like...
so Angelina was like, we gotta work on Nick to get Lyrsa out.
Right.
So then Lyrsa takes that opportunity to get with Mike.
Yeah.
And Mike's like, I get it.
Yeah, I don't trust Angelina either.
Absolutely. Yeah. She should go.
Right.
Not sure that it should go. She should go right now, though.
Right. And he's just kind of, what does he say to Lyrsa? I think he says, like, I don't have any loyalty to Angelina.
Right.
But I do have to answer to the Goliaths once we get to the merge. And, you know, I kind of have, like, a difficult decision to make here.
And he is the example of what you do say to someone. He isn't necessarily going to do what Lyrsa is suggesting.
But he doesn't
shut her down. But he makes her think that he's open to it.
That's right.
Doesn't shut her down.
Right.
Lyrsa, learn from Mike. Lyrsa, this is Mike. Learn from him.
Right.
And then, of course, Angelina's working on Nick, but Nick and Mike, rock stars, they're the ones who ultimately...
They know they get to make the decision. Because they know that Angelina's writing down Lyrsa and Lyrsa's writing down Angelina.
Yeah.
So at this point, they kind of know that they're both safe.
Yeah.
And they get to decide who they are going to pair up and vote for and send off the island.
Right.
So then we go to tribal, right?
Yes. So they leave us in the edit with sort of understanding where Mike's head is at.
Mm-hmm.
Angelina's a threat.
Yeah.
No loyalty to her.
Right.
But if I get rid of her, we go to the merge and all of the Goliaths go, you picked off the Goliaths.
Yeah.
He would be the first one on their list.
Yes.
So I totally get where Mike is.
Yeah, right.
And I understand that this was a really tough decision for him.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, though, I'm thinking you can't get rid of Angelina.
You can't, because then you are at the bottom of the Goliath tribe.
You have to protect yourself, Mike.
No. So we go to tribal, and the interesting thing about this is that it's all about everybody's individual plans. Again, like nobody's really seeming to think they might be in serious danger of going home.
No one's like, yeah, no, I think I'm in danger tonight.
Yeah, right.
No one says it. It's like, well, I got a plan.
Right.
I got a plan.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Mike's like, yeah, we all kind of trust each other, and at the end of this, one person is going to be sorry that they trusted everybody else.
Lots of talk about loyalty, but also strategy.
Yeah.
And no one's really saying any names.
Yeah.
Mike looked really uncomfortable, which made me second guess my theory that Angelina was gonna stay.
Yeah.
He looked so uncomfortable that I thought he might be voting out Angelina.
Yeah, and I hated when Angelina was like, well, let me, I just want to talk up Nick a little bit here. Like, oh, look at those, like, beautiful blue eyes. And, like, you just can tell exactly, like, she's trying to, like, compliment Nick and, like, fluff him up or something. And Lyrsa's like, okay, yeah, like you're just trying to buy his vote here. Like that was such a lame strategy.
It really was. It was just odd in the moment.
Yeah, right. What are you doing? Everybody knows you're not close to Nick. What is going on here?
That was odd.
That was like a facepalm moment, but ultimately Angelina was not Mike's target this week, and that's what made the difference. So we go to vote, and 3-1, Pierce is out.
And we knew, obviously, that Nick and Mike were going to vote the same way. I didn't think that Mike was going to blindside Nick.
Yeah, no.
So once you see that next vote, then you knew Lyrsa was the one that was going to go. And honestly, it doesn't make a difference.
Yeah.
I think it was the safer thing for Mike. And honestly, it doesn't hurt Nick.
No.
He's
what is
in with
Lyrsa
Mike,
adding, really?
So fine, you're good.
Right.
at this point.
And Nick has other alliances that, you know, he can work once they get to the merge, which we see is coming next week.
It's coming next week!
So, I thought it was a little early. I thought they usually merge around like 11 or 12 people. We've got 13 now, and we're going to merge with them.
Yeah. So they had to do something.
Right.
So here we go. It's a merge.
It's the merge.
I'm ready for it because there's all of this talk about David's versus Goliath.
Yeah.
But we have seen bonds forming on each tribe.
Yep.
So it is no longer David's versus Goliath. But we've also seen that Goliaths seem to be gunning for more Goliaths than David.
That's right. And I think Alex said it last week or 2 weeks ago. He said something about like, I don't see them as really threats. They're like numbers. Yeah, they're numbers for me to like help me make my moves. And I think that's how a lot of Goliaths are looking at the situation. I think they see each other as bigger threats in this game right now. And that maybe they can just pick off the Goliaths using the Davids and then maybe steamroll the Davids in immunity challenges and make their way to the end. I don't know what the strategy is, but it's not Goliath loyalty like, you know, Natalie was talking about.
I think to a certain extent they're going to have to try to make it appear like Goliath loyalty.
Yes.
But I think we're going to see a lot of those little, which Goliath hangs out with which Davids, those little tiny alliances is what's going to build up.
Yeah.
Because, we've seen like Allison talking about Dan.
Yeah.
Mike talking about Angelina.
Yeah.
I feel like while the Goliaths were together, they were watching and going, threat, threat, threat.
Absolutely.
Which is exciting because we want them to go after each other, and we want the Christians and the Gabbies and the Nicks of the world
to make it through.
To rise.
Now here's the deal, Angelina. Stop coming after our guy Christian.
Girl.
Okay?
I will jump through that TV and I'll take you out myself.
Yeah, I was not happy to see her, you know, look, it's smart to realize that Christian is the heart and soul of the David tribe. That is an astute observation.
Yes.
But you better not target him.
Well, okay? I love that. I don't think she realizes how protected he's gonna be.
Yeah.
I mean, I love that we saw Alec in the previews.
Yeah.
Because, like, what? Why is he defending Christian?
He's never been on a tribe with Christian before.
We know Dan and John are going to.
Yeah.
And I just wonder if Angelina and some of the other people see that. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I do think Angelina's been a great player so far. She clearly, like, escaped by the skin of her teeth this week.
She's dangerous, and we know that.
She's made moves already in this game, so Christian better watch his back.
Honestly, I don't know that Angelina makes it to jury because people are so aware of her.
She's scheming, and people know about it.
It'll be amazing if she can make it to jury.
Yeah.
Or even further.
Yeah.
I mean, she obviously deserves it, but because she's on their radar.
Yeah. So the merge is exciting. This is when the game really starts to take off, so next week will be fun.
And also, I just can't see Javini lose any more challenges.
I need to be done with that.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, tell us what you thought about poor Javini.
Yeah.
About Lyrsa.
And what do you think is going to happen in the merge?
Yes, and Christian.
Yeah, and Christian. Let us know what you guys think, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.